Hey guys, so I didn't do an update after my baseline ultrasound, so I wanted to kind of start there. On Friday I had my baseline ultrasound, and what that is basically is an ultrasound that where they're checking for any issues with your uterus, or your tubes. So they're checking for cysts or any kind of issues with your lining or anything that would prevent you from starting. So I had that, and then the other thing they check for is how many follicles you have. So basically, each month your body has so many follicles that are starting to mature, and by the time you ovulate, one of them will have matured and releases, and then the rest of them die. Well, in IVF, you want to try to mature as many of those follicles as you can, and while I'm on the Superfact nose spray, this is to make sure that all of those follicles continue to grow and that I don't ovulate so that they can retrieve them. So I'm continuing on the Superfact, but as of today, because it's injection day, I will be going down to 3 times a day instead of 5. So I will still be taking that. And on the baseline ultrasound, they counted about 24 follicles that I have. So that's a really good number to start with. So we're hoping that once I start these injections that many of those or most of them will mature into eggs so that when they do the retrieval, we get a good number of eggs to start with. Because once you kind of go through the process, everything seems to dwindle down a lot. As far as how many are mature, how many end up getting fertilizing, how many survive to day 3, how many survive the biopsy, and then how many are not affected by the condition that we carry. So that number, if we did start with around 20 eggs after the retrieval, would dwindle down very quickly as far as how many would survive and end up being a healthy embryo at the end. So there is also kind of the opposite problem of having too many eggs mature, so we're a little worried about that as well. We are planning to do a fresh transfer if everything goes well, which means 5 days after the retrieval, we would be doing a transfer of an embryo or 2. And if your body ends up having too many follicles mature and you get too many eggs during the retrieval, you're at a risk for something called ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, and that is really dangerous actually. A lot of people end up in the hospital from it, and so they told me I'm at increased risk for that because I have so many follicles that are there. So we're going to be carefully monitoring and crossing our fingers that it doesn't happen. So it's kind of a fine line. We want to get as many as we can, but we also don't want to get too many so that we end up that I have OHSS. So my nurse told me that if we got closer to 30, chances are we'd have to cancel the fresh cycle. So I'm kind of hoping that we stick right around that 20 mark. That will give us a good number to work with, but also not be too many, hopefully, for my body to end up having that happen to it, because I know it's not the end of the world if a fresh cycle is canceled and we have to do frozen, but that's another month or 2 of waiting, and at this point we're just so ready to get on with everything and get through this part of it. So yeah, we're hoping that all goes well. So that's what the baseline ultrasound was for, and they said it looked great. I had lots of follicles and there were no problems, so I could start my injections today. So I'm nervous, but I'm also excited, which seems weird to be excited to give myself a needle, but I just really want to, like I said, get the process going. So the hormone that I'm on is called Gonal-F, and it comes in a box like this. So I'm just going to show you a few of the things that I got when I got my meds. So I got a whole package of things, like tons, probably 30 pages of consent forms. I got my timeline, so we have everything written out, the days and what I need to be taking on each day. So this is kind of nice just to have it all laid out there. And then I got this carrier bag. And inside of it, we have alcohol swabs for the end of the needle, so I will need one of those. We have some instructions on how to properly administer the Gonal-F pen. And I've read through it, so hopefully I don't have any issues since I'm going to be doing it when you're watching. So there's that stuff. And then they give you a small sharps container. This one's actually kind of cool because you just put the needle in and twist it off. So, so we have that. I am on a fairly low dose of Gonal-F. So what this drug does is it tells your body to mature as many of the follicles as possible. So now that we know I have a lot of follicles there ready to mature, and we've stopped my ovulation from the superfact, we're going to start doing, this is called your stimulation meds or your stims. So I'm now going to be in the stim process of IVF. So I will be doing 1 needle a day only. So I'm lucky that way. I know a lot of people need a lot more. And I'm doing 150 units a day. So it ranges. Some people are on more like 75 and some it goes all the way up to 300. But because the reason that we're doing IVF is not for fertility problems, the amount you get is based on a few things. It's based on, number one, the reason why you're doing it. I don't have trouble producing eggs. I don't have trouble ovulating. I don't have trouble getting pregnant. So I don't need as much for that reason. It also is based on your weight. And since I am not overweight, I probably need less than some other people might need. And then also goes on your age. And anything under 35 is still considered to be good. So once you hit 35 or older, a lot of times, as you know, your body starts to change a little bit and it makes it a little bit hard. There's a little more risks involved with things. Actually, I think they might even say 38 now. I'm not totally sure. But I'm 32, so I'm still good for that. So I'm on a fairly low dose. And also because I'm at increased risk for hyperstimulated ovarian syndrome, they didn't want to put me too high because we need to, it's better to start lower and take more if I need to than to be hyperstimulated. So this is just a side note. Today is Halloween, so I'm wearing my only orange shirt. I just wanted to add that in. So happy Halloween, everybody. All right, so let's open it up. I took this one out of the fridge about an hour and a half ago, and so they say to store them in the fridge unless you're using it. So now that this pen is out of the fridge, I can keep it out and I don't need to store it in there because it's not very comfortable going in when it's super cold. So it comes with the ends for your needle ends, and it comes with your pen. So I'm just gonna pop the pen out here and open this up. So I have gotten 3 pens. These are 450 unit pens. I got 3 of them. For now, I will probably need at least 1 more, but depending on if my dosage is increased or not at all. So the pens are really kind of cool. So this is Gonal-F, and you can see right here, there's a little 0. I think you can see it. So I need to turn the dial until it shows 150. So I'm going to do that right here. 12.5. It goes up by 12.5s. If you dial too much, you can just go back 125, 137.5, 150. All right, so I have dialed up 150 units. So I just want to double check that to make sure. So this is my first time doing this. So I made Dave stay close by in case I can't do it, but he's not really wanting to be in this video. So, okay, I've been waiting for this for a while. So step number 1, once I have it dialed up to 150, is to remove the cap. Okay, so I removed the cap. You can see it's dialed 150. Now there is a pretty big air bubble in there. There, I think it's gone now. there's a few little ones, but they said it's not a big deal. If there's a few little ones there, they're actually gone. Okay, so make sure I'm still dialed to 150. I am going to get you to hold this for a minute for me. You might have to give this to me, so don't sit there and smile that you're not in the video. I don't know if I can do it. I'm not really a fan of needles. All right, so you take the alcohol swab and you swab off the end, just like with anytime you use a needle. Just set that down. So your needle end, you just peel it back. You can just leave it attached if you want. I do have some experience with a pen, as one of the little girls that I taught was diabetic, and so I had to give her needles a lot, and she also had a pen that was very similar with the needle end. So you can see there's the end of the needle. So you just take it, and I'm just going to screw it on. There we go. So it's on. I'm just going to pull the cap off, and you can see there is a green piece, so let's take that off. I've never given myself a needle before. All right, that's not so bad, is it? Oh no, it's pretty bad. Can you take a picture of me with this before I do it? Sorry, I just want to get a picture before I do my very first needle. So. Now let me make a scared face, because I am kind of scared. Okay. All right, so here we go, guys. I'm going to, yeah. So you put it in your stomach. All right, so I don't think it really matters where, so let's go right here. So I'm just gonna clean it off. We'll go on this side. Make sure I'm still 150. Whew, okay. Been waiting a long time for this. Not super excited about this part, but do you want to do it? I think you should do it. Oh, okay. So straight in, and then I gotta push the button. They actually said to hold it like this, which is kind of weird, but maybe I'll do it like that. I'm nervous. Okay, I can do this. Okay, here, I'll come up closer for anyone who likes to watch. Oh God. Okay, here we go. I actually didn't really even feel it. It's burning a little bit now, and leave it in for about 3 seconds. Pull it out. Check to make sure it shows 0, which it does. Not even bleeding. There we go. I will say that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't even really feel it going in. So we're at 0. It says, still shows some here, that's weird. Oh, because there's 300 left. Oh yeah, okay, makes sense. All right, so then you just take your sharps container, and for this one, normally you'd put the lid back on, twist it off, and put the whole thing in the sharps container. But with this one, you just put it here, I think is what they said. Twist it off. I have it on kind of crooked. And there we go. It's in there. So, all right, replace the cap. That's it until tomorrow. So I take my nose spray again at 3, so in an hour. Like I said, this is just once a day. And so what this is gonna do is tell my body, hey, you need to mature all of those follicles or a lot of those follicles so that we can retrieve them. And because of the superfact, my body is not going to release them and ovulate like your body normally would. So it will keep them all until my doctors say, okay, they're where we need them. And then what happens is you get a trigger shot, and that trigger shot tells your body, okay, now you can ovulate. and then they do the retrieval before that happens. So thanks so much for checking in and for everyone following my journey and for helping me through my very first needle. It really wasn't so bad. I'll probably be on them for anywhere from 10 to 14 days. The average is about 12. So here we go. I guess it's seeping in. Let's see what happens. I hope I don't have too many side effects, but what do you do? All right. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.